Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the silver squeeze and why it's probably not going to have any impact on silver until things have drastically changed with the manipulation that's going on the paper side. So I came across this article talking about, despite all of the manipulation and the huge price swings on the paper side, people are still undeterred from buying physical precious metals. Now, for people that have been stacking for a long time, we all know the reasons why it's good to stack physical precious metals. But there have been a lot of people, people that are new into the precious metals game and buying silver and gold. And I think they have a little bit of a skewed view on what to exactly expect when investing. They use the word investing. I don't really like to use the word investing when I'm talking about precious metals, but what to expect when you're buying physical silver and gold. It's a lot different than some of the meme stocks that were going through the roof on Reddit. It's a lot different than the GameStop situation. Now, I've done videos before talking about how the paper to physical is 250 to 1. So for every one silver, there's 250 paper contracts out on it. So it is a lot easier to manipulate the paper side. It's a lot easier when you have all that volume and all of those contracts than, say, trying to manipulate the one side of that ratio. And if you go further down talking about paper to physical, obviously we see that it's 250 to 1. But then when you break down physical even more, the bullion side, the stuff that we're buying, the bars, the rounds, the coins, it's not even the biggest sector of the physical silver side. Industrial is the biggest user of physical silver. It is more an industrial metal nowadays than a lot of people would consider a monetary metal. I just think it's very hard to expect that, buying up the physical stuff here, as we can see, it's not even the biggest chunk of the pie in the physical sector, and then having the physical sector being 1 compared to the paper being 250. So there was just a lot of stuff going against this squeeze having any sort of impact on the price going to the moon. And I'm not saying to not buy silver, and it's the exact opposite. Especially with the prices being manipulated low, you should look at it as if it's on sale right now. If you do believe that the true price of it should be way up in the triple digits, then take advantage of it right now. The manipulation is a terrible thing, but the one thing that you can, one bright side, I guess, is that you can be picking up silver at quite a big discount compared to where you believe it should be. So I'm just going to go on to this article here, and it goes into a little bit talking about yesterday being the anniversary of the attempted short squeeze, and they kind of go into some of the things that I've touched on here, but they go into it a little bit more in depth in the article. All right, so this is the article here. It is on moneymetals.com, and it is physical bullion investors undeterred by paper price swings. So getting down in the article, it says precious metals aren't exactly a favored asset on Wall Street or the Federal Reserve. Thanks to WikiLeaks, we know that futures markets was originally conceived in 1970s as a mechanism to increase volatility and discourage physical ownership of the monetary metals. And getting into Wall Street bets here, I did see some videos talking about it yesterday, where it was the 1-year anniversary of the initial silver squeeze that they were going for here. And it says, when the Wall Street bets crowd tried to put a squeeze on silver exactly 1 year ago, the effort failed. Trying to squeeze an asset like silver is tricky when you are arrayed against forces that can influence the price with concentrated trading power and the ability to expand the electronic supply of the metal. So unfortunately, when we're talking about the physical to paper ratio, it's very, very hard to manipulate and squeeze the physical side. It's 250 to 1, paper to physical. So when you're trying to manipulate the one side of that ratio, it's going to be a lot tougher than the paper side. And unfortunately, we're still living in a world where the manipulation of silver is being, driven by the paper markets. And even said down here, it says tons of silver left the COMEX vaulting system, but the price of futures the price of futures contracts was never really connected to available inventory to begin with. So unfortunately, buying the physical, the bars, the coins, the rounds, the stuff that I stack, it's going to be very hard or almost impossible for that to move the price as much as a couple of keystrokes on the paper side is. That's where the manipulation is coming down, and it's being manipulated and suppressed. So it's a good thing that you're buying physical silver, but you kind of have to curtail and change your expectations on what to expect from physical silver. And that's where they're going on to here. It says speculators who bought silver expecting explosive short-term gains like those associated with GameStop are undoubtedly disappointed. That said, if the goal remains to discourage physical ownership, bankers appear to be failing. Physical gold and silver investors aggressively buy every dip in the paper price. Which makes sense, you know what I mean? If you do think, or as we all know, it's being suppressed and lowered. So the best thing to do if it's, another dip, or if it's being suppressed, pick it up while it's on sale. If you truly believe it should be, at a certain price, then there's no reason not to pick it up now because it's, on sale that much, it's that drastic of a price difference. Pick up as much as you can get your hands on before it gets up. And it says they care less about price action and more about moving some assets out of bubbly stock markets and rapidly devaluing cash. They want assets which can do well in times of extreme turbulence and whose value can never hit zero. So yes, the people that have been stacking and buying precious metals for years are doing it because they know that they don't want to keep their all of their money or all of their wealth tied into a system that can be easily deflated. They're going to be losing a lot of their savings with if they have it in the fiat currency. So they want to move it into something that cannot be inflated. And, you can't just press a button and then boom, here comes just 300 metric tons more of silver or something like that. It's not just as easy as a keystroke like the fiat currency is to just increase it and inflate it into now. So that's why a lot of people have been doing it for years, is for that hedge against inflation, and again as a physical savings account. And for everyone that's been doing it for years and decades, the price has obviously moved. So that's the cherry on top of all the reasons why they've been stacking. And it's really cool to see in the comments when people are like, I've been stacking for years, I've been doing it for all these reasons, and it's just gravy that I've actually quadrupled my money, because it was a lot cheaper back when, and now it's going up. And I don't really blame people for wanting to see it go to the moon so that they can increase however much more what their stack is worth. But that's over decades that they've been just stacking away and just doing it, dollar cost averaging, picking up something every month, not really caring about what the price is, because they're just picking it up, accumulating it, and everything will kind of, you see the highs, you see the lows. If you're buying consistently like the dollar cost average, then you'll see what your average prices are. So I think a lot of people just got dollar signs in their eyes when they saw the huge fluctuation and the gains that a lot of people saw in GameStop, and then they were able to see how undervalued silver was because of the manipulation keeping it down, and they thought that they would be able to do the exact same thing, but is a little bit different than the GameStop here. So this one was kind of a shorter article. I did read through the majority of it. I don't usually do that, but I did kind of skip through a little bit of things here and there. So if you do want to read the entire article, I will leave a link in the description for you to do so. So yes, that's the article that I want to talk about. And one thing that I want to touch on with Wall Street Silver is I'm not saying that it's bad to pick up silver. Whenever I talk about the silver squeeze not being a thing and not being something that you should be looking to attain just because it's not realistic, the prices aren't going to be changed that much compared to how the manipulating on the paper side is, and people are thinking I'm trying to talk them out of silver. That's the exact opposite. I'm a silver stacker. I love the stuff. And if you truly believe, like I do, that it's undervalued, then you should be picking it up at a discount. The prices now are a lot more affordable than where you think they should be. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for it to take off to the moon, just, keep buying. And then keep buying and keep buying, because it's not going to go to the moon overnight. So I'm worried that the silver squeeze and the Wall Street silver are going to discourage a lot of people from continuing to buy physical silver, because they keep promising to the moon, they keep talking about the squeeze, and it's just, until the manipulation on the paper side stops, then the price of silver is not going anywhere. And it doesn't matter how many bars or how many coins you physically buy, the price is not going to move or have a sustained movement for any amount of time. Just they'll be able to snap their fingers and get it to where it's good for them. They're going to manipulate it to where they want it. And in the future, who knows? It might be to their benefit to let the real price of silver show itself and have the manipulation stop, and then we'll see what happens. But until that day comes where they don't need to artificially suppress it, I do not see silver going anywhere. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.